It is confirmed, Nicole, Japanese Prime Minister Naoto Kan has ordered his ministers to cough up an extra budget meant for the financial year to March 2011. But Kan's administration failed to provide a figure. Reports say it could reach $55 billion. Joining us now is our guest host for the next hour. We have Mario Singh, a man I like to call Super Mario, Director Training and Education at fxpremiers.com. Mario, good to have you with us here today. $55 billion, that's what's reported, this extra stimulus that's coming on to the market. How effective would that be to help shore up Japan's economy, you think?
Well, it's always from short-term, long-term basis. In the short term, I do feel that it will have a punch in the markets. We will see the dollar-yen hitting up quite a little bit. But even let's just take cue from, say, 10 days ago when they had their first intervention in about, say, 6 years, when it was, I think it was 82.88, and they shot it up to about 85. So that was about 300 pip gain. But even now we are seeing that effect has limited basis, because for intervention to really work, it's really got to be a coordinated effort between US and the EU.
But this fiscal stimulus budget, I mean, it has been announced before. The problem in Japan, of course, is getting Japanese households, Japanese companies to start spending again. Will it be enough to really jolt the domestic consumption picture? Will there be something in there that will make it different this time round?
I'm not convinced that it will be, because what's happening in Japan now, they've been mired in deflation for the last 10, 15 years. What's really going to help the yen right now is going to be economic activity in the US. It's not so much domestic consumption in Japan itself, but what's really going to happen in the US now, taking into consideration that the US itself, they want their US dollar to be weak. So it's going to be a real tussle between US and Japan at this point of time.
How are they going to pay for this extra budget? You think, can they avoid issuing bonds? I mean, public debt, of course, in Japan is a big worry because it's one of the highest in the world.
Absolutely. It's like 200% of GDP at this point. But what is great is that when they came out, they're going to stop the issuance of government bonds, and they're going to use from the spillovers of budget 2009 last year to help issue this the extra stimulus package.
All right, Mario, stick right there for one moment while we get an update. On Sunday, of course, as you know, China said it will impose an anti-dumping duty as high as, check this, 105% on U.S. broiler chicken products effective today. China's Ministry of Commerce said local production has been affected by the U.S. Industries Dumping Acts. So is this a case of foul play? Yes, the pun is absolutely intended, Mario. What do you think, as experts say that Beijing is still committed to cooperative relations with trading partners? That doesn't really seem to fit that bill.
Well, yes, I agree with that. It's going to be a little bit of tussle now between China and the rest of the superpowers. Is it a little bit of foul play? I would say absolutely it is. At this point, China is muscling in on their own strength. And we see the even tussle now between Timothy Geithner and the rest of China, always clamoring for the appreciation of the Chinese yuan. But at this stage, I don't feel that this situation now is going to be as tense as we are seeing it at this point of time. Because what's more important is that Premier Hu Jintao, he's got to see that the domestic consumption in China is heating up even before he gives the go-ahead for the yuan to rise.
Yeah, but commodity traders are also reporting that China is threatening to deny Japan, I should say, of rare earth materials. If that notion is true, that is extremely sobering.
Well, I agree with that. And that from the what's been happening with the Chinese boat captain. Now, as we see what's been playing out between Japan and China now, I know relationships have been a bit tense over the last couple of weeks because of this whole saga. But really, it's a bit of a political play now between the two Asian giants, because what's going to be happening in the islands at this point is that which country literally claims jurisdiction over this island, because beneath there's a whole ton of very valuable resources in that islands that they are fighting for.
Yeah, well, some say that they also turned a minor dispute into a geopolitical shoving match, so we'll get to more of that in just a moment. Mario stays with us as our guest host for the entire hour. Mario Singh.